Welcome, students of Project Centaurus. I'm Professor Phileas B. Baxter. Finally, we have come to our last lesson. You are all now minor figures in exodiplomacy, and if you are participating in Dr. Schurler's growth experiments, you will be minor figures your entire lives. In the last film, we considered the possibility of a declaration of war between the Earth and other planets. Today, you shall learn how to deal with a post-war environment. There are two possible outcomes in a post-war situation. Professor, tell me more about the anus. No, we've already talked about that. But if you want, I can tell you all about the post-war environment. Okay. As I was saying, there are two possible outcomes in a post-war situation, and one of them is victory.
Victory.
If we were ever to fight against extraterrestrials, it's quite probable that we would totally crush them. We did beat the Japanese, and this can't be much different. And what do you do if you win the war? Well, the first and most important thing is pull down statues. Urinating on corpses is considered bad taste and tends to raise suspicions in the locals, so we prefer the symbolic equivalent. Where before there stood a figure of the King of Mars, we have now put Henry Kissinger's mother. Much better. And how is the territory organised? Well, when Earth wins the war, we'll have to share the galaxy with the communists, but we'll give them the planets furthest away from the sun as they deal much better with the cold. Because they're Russians? No, because they're alcoholics. You mentioned there were two possible outcomes. What's the other one?
The one which is not victory.
Extraterrestrials could win a war against Earth? Yeah, it's highly unlikely, but so was the CIA blowing the president's head off. Excuse me? I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald. Maybe it would be a good idea to know what to do in the case of an invasion. Yes, it would. An attack by extraterrestrials will be accompanied by atomic explosions, the firing of lasers at cows, and chemical weapons. That's why you'll need to have the following objects at hand: blankets, warm clothing, a gas mask, firearms or really sharp nail clippers, tins of food, and crosswords, and they'll last longer if they're in a language you don't understand. And if any of you wear a pacemaker, you'll have just enough with a Bible.
It's not essential, but I recommend burying the things you want to pass on to future generations, if there is going to be such a thing. A history of humanity. The Divine Comedy. A photo of my family and the magazine. Sexual extravaganza. The Mega Breast Special. I don't have a special interest in leaving it for posterity, but I was too afraid to hide it at home.
So, these are the guidelines to follow if faced with alien invasion. Yes. Well, there is one other thing. What's that? Well, we recommend that you to your forehead. Dear children of Project Centaurus, maybe the day will come when hordes of extraterrestrials will vaporize your families, carbonize your pets, and aim giant disintegrating laser directly at Earth. If that happens, do not be afraid. Just think, at the end of the day, we are all made of stardust. Wow, is that true? I doubt it. Should old acquaintance be forgot? Come on. Should old acquaintance be forgot, and days of old lang syne, for old lang syne, for old lang syne.